Hello, friends. I have a very fun and exciting rant-filled video for you today. Like any hilariously addicted Gilmore Girls fan, I watched all 4 episodes of the revival as fast as humanly possible around work and other important life things that I couldn't apparently stop doing, like eating or sleeping, although I did try very hard to not do those things. And I have a lot of thoughts, and unfortunately, those thoughts are not great. And I would like to be able to discuss them in details. This is going to be full of spoilers, just right out there. If you don't want to be spoiled because you haven't watched it yet, because, you know, life happens, go away and then come back to this when you have. If you have watched all 4 episodes, hang out with me and tell me if you feel the same way. Going into the first episode, I was really optimistic. I don't want to say that I thought that the entire thing was terrible. That's not true. I think that there were a lot of great things that came back. The banter was awesome, filled with all these pop culture references. Characters besides Lorelai and Rory were back to their beautiful selves. You know, I especially like that Michelle was just like married to a man. Like, they didn't even like address it. It was just like Michelle went from being this like constantly frustrated, like none of the women love me in the series, just being like, yeah, I'm happily married to a man. As we all knew that he was gay from like the entire series, and he just needed to accept himself, and he has, and he's really happy, and he has his dogs, and I'm thinking of getting a kid, but like he's still Michelle, which I really love. Obviously I wanted more Sookie, but you know, Melissa McCarthy is kind of a big deal now. I understand that that was a struggle to begin with. I'm glad that she was there. Absolutely perfect way to bring her in. And then I love Emily Gilmore's storyline. I think that losing Ed Herman was just devastating for everyone. Not having Richard in the revival hurt so much, but I love that over the course of all 4 90-minute episodes, they just kept discussing his memory and the impact that his loss had. It was never forgotten. You didn't just have like the funeral scene and then, you know, everything went on. He was really honored. The character was honored. The impact the character had was honored. And then Emily Gilmore, just like when she's in her DAR meeting addressing this new potential member, and all of a sudden she just goes, bullshit! I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted to see. And like her removal to the Cape to talk about like how the whalers used to kill whales and like making people cry, like in her element, having like gotten this new maid family. I thought that that was really well done. I think that there were some issues with like the storyline of the maid, you know, the whole language thing. I do think that that was not very smartly addressed, but again, trying to talk about things that I loved. I really loved Luke. I think that Luke is still same old Luke. And his and Jess's dynamic is still really awesome. The weird April cameo was funny, but also made a lot of sense. So a lot of other stuff, like the characters, the feels, the joy with the drama, like all of that was brought back to the show, and I love that. So I enjoy the series. I enjoyed watching it. It was okay. It was good. But the series, and swear words incoming, because there's no other way to describe this with the depth of feeling that I have. The series fucked itself and then fucked us. And I mean that as like the 90-minute season thing probably sounded really good in concept, but in actuality, that hurt the series more than it helped. Like, I mean, that one like 15-minute section on the Stars Hollow musical that clearly was there to pad out that one episode to the appropriate runtime. Like, why? We didn't need all that. Like, it was funny after the first number, and then just, it was so much wasted time. And there were a bunch of other times where there were scenes or things happening where I felt like time was wasted because they couldn't continue on with the story until the next season, so they had to pad out what was happening in that. And so it screwed itself. Like, there's no way to have made that better unless you said, okay, this 90-minute season thing isn't working, we have to go to a different format, a different runtime, and actually make them the jam-packed, poppy, like emotional roller coasters that were the 50-minute episodes throughout the first 7 seasons. And then you also have the fact that Rory does not seem to have grown up at all. And I don't mean that in the fact that like she's rootless, she's trying to find her way. That makes sense. As someone who's 22 years old, granted she's in her 30s in the revival, but like as someone struggling to make their way in this world, that aimlessness, that, you know, frustration, that attempt to try and do anything to follow her passions, like, it made sense to me. But then just random things, like she sleeps with a Wookiee? What? Why? And then just the sheer fact that she was carrying on an affair with Logan while she's dating someone else and he's engaged to someone else. I know that Rory has a history of this because of what she did with Dean, but that wrecked her. Like, she was in such a mess after that happened. I don't think that she would ever have wanted to do that again. First of all, I don't think that she would have done it if she was dating someone else, and especially after season 7, where Logan and Rory left it off. Like, Logan was like, if we can't be more, then we can't be anything. And now all of a sudden they're just like having sex whenever she shows up in London, even though they're both ostensibly with other people. It didn't make sense. It was never addressed. Like, Rory was never seen to really struggle with that, and neither was Logan. Logan didn't really seem to love his fiance. Rory certainly didn't love Paul. So it was just like, this doesn't make any sense. I think that Lorelai's story made way more sense up until the point where she does Wild. Lorelai Gilmore would never just go off to the other edge of the country and hike to clear her mind. Like, she'd go on a roller coaster ride, or she would go on a shopping trip. She would take off in the car and go driving like she did after her almost wedding with Max. Like, she wouldn't go hiking. Like, that was weird. It was good. Like, the scenes that came out of that were good. But that was super weird. And also her being a book and not a movie. No, Lorelai Gilmore would be a movie. She's Lorelai Gilmore. Anyway, and then there's that ending, and that's what I mean when I say that we were fucked. I know that Amy said that she had the final 4 words, like, in her head as the way to end the series from the beginning. But, like, does that mean for the first one, like, if there's only been 1 season of Gilmore Girls, would she have ended it that way? And then, like, you got a pregnant 16-year-old Rory? I don't understand. I don't think that was very well thought out, first of all. Second of all, backing up from that, Lorelai and Luke's wedding was so smushed because so much had to happen in the finale, and it made all of that wasted time with the Stars Hollow musical really upsetting, because, like, I really wanted to savor the moment of their elopement, and we didn't get to because it was like the end of the thing and it had to end, and I was just like, ah! Anyways, back to Rory being pregnant. I've seen a lot of things of now, like, this is like Logan's gonna be the new Christopher and Jess is gonna be the new Luke, and I mean, fine, whatever, but, like, that's not the ending to a series. It's not. And that's where we as fans got fucked, because we were promised closure. We were promised that the revival would finish up the Gilmore Girls storylines, in the way that we never got because of season 7, and instead we get that ending, and that's not closure. That's not an ending. That's a play for more Gilmore Girls. And while I'm not against that, I don't agree with the way that the storyline has gone. I don't think that it's true to the characters, and I'm not sure I necessarily want Gilmore Girls episodes. Like, it was perfect for the time that it was in. It was perfect when it was. And if you make more, like, you know that Suki's not going to be able to be there. You know these other characters can't be there. And it's just, why would you make more episodes with like half a cast, part of a show? The revival should have been the closure we were promised, but it fucked itself, and then it fucked us. And that's how I feel. And this has already gone on way too long. There are so many other things that I want to say, but I'm just going to leave it there because, you know what? Unlike the Gilmore Girls revival, I know when to stop and end, and I've said what I need to say. So I'm going to stop now. And please tell me if you agree with me, don't agree with me, have other things that bothered you, or things that you love down in the comments. If you loved it, if you didn't love it, just tell me. Let me know. Let me know down there. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all the other things that I didn't get to. So I look forward to chatting with you guys, and yeah, bye.